Welcome to the Patriot Hour. I'm Michael, your host for 31718. We got Scott, Jeff in the studio. We're going to jump into some Anon, Q clearance, see if there's any new drops, any new breadcrumbs. If not, we got some other stuff in store for you, so stick around. We'll get right into it.
I want to thank all of you for being with us. The Patriots are an incredible organization. Incredible organization. With your backs against the wall, that's the beauty. And the pundit.
Okay, I'm Mike in the studio. We got Scott, Jeff.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
All right, how are you guys doing on this fine St. Patty's Day?
St. Patrick's
2018.
2018. You guys got any plans? What do we find out about St. Patrick's Day? What is
It's a global celebration of basically the Irish culture. St. Patrick was a patron saint, so they the Irish particularly celebrate St. Patrick, and the rest of us and all the non-believers out there, I guess we just discussed celebrate St. Patrick's Day for the beer. So here's to the Irish, right?
Go Irish. Okay, so we're gonna look. We'll see if there's any new updates. All right, and I'm not going to paste us over the main screen here because there's just too many of us and nobody would be able to see the links. So let's do an update here.
March Madness, baby. March Madness. Did you guys happen to watch any of that last night? The number 16 seed beat a number 1 seed in the first time ever.
Some upsets going on or what?
Yeah, it just kind of goes along with the latest cues. I thought maybe he was talking about basketball, but I don't think that's what this post is.
No, me neither. All right, so there are no new drops, no new crumbs. But let's see on this one if anything more has developed. On the 952, I'm going to click into the original post, and we'll see what some of the other Anons have been saying. So we're going to wait for this to pop and reload. Boom, there it is, and now I can touch. Welcome back, Q. Adult is back in the room. The link, the bridge, John Party Barlow. I read that one the other night. It's John Perry Barlow, but but Party Barlow.
Well, he was probably driving. Remember what he always says, don't pay attention to all the little details.
Who doesn't have a spell check?
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us actually use spell check when we're texting and driving?
1,000 pieces of reference to JFK's speech. Yes, we knew that, so we might see them totally gutted and shut down. So see at the bottom here, it says we have the sub hostage release, 1,000 pieces. This guy is saying, with probably lots of research, but his guess, we have the subordinate number 2, hostage release, Andrew McCabe deal for pension, which we know is not true because he got fired yesterday.
Correct.
He's not, I believe he's 1,000 pieces information on the players, but it just seems like they'd already have that. 19 is Comey, ?
He's going to squeal.
So look at this one. Sub equals Red October. Red October equals Ed. Ed at Snowden no longer. I mean,
Ed's not equal to, right?
Yes.
Ed is not
equal to at Snowden. So it's not Ed Snowden no longer.
Huh.
A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. Friend of the devil, grateful to him.
What?
Q is Mueller our guy. Please let us know. Need to know POTUS is safe from any indictments. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Mueller is...
He's flipping back now.
Mueller.
You see, they had him going at Trump, and then they couldn't find any conspiracy with the Russians. So now he's going to save face now that they actually have information on McCabe. And McCabe is just the tip of the iceberg. So I expect to see McCabe roll and everything Q's been telling
What
us.
happened with the special investigator to investigate the investigators?
Well, they just got
Yeah.
another one now. Now they're going back, and it's
Well,
going to be
that's-
the 4th level of.
Isn't that the biggest, like, there's so much corruption at the upper level in these things, they have to get special counsels because otherwise it's like, oh, we got it, we'll internally look at it. But
Sure.
when you have the top 2-3 people
Yeah,
that are
doing the
implicated,
reviews. Yeah, yeah.
got to get that outside input sometimes, folks. Let them investigate themselves. They will come to a great conclusion, you know.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
We'll look at a few more of these here. North Korean sub off the West Coast. Hussein threatened POTUS with it.
Now, North Koreans, they don't have any nuclear subs. They have the old diesel ones that are easy to spot.
Find the line.
God.
There's one. Hostage equals Julian Assange, possibly. So they're saying we have hostage released, which could have been Julian, huh? Lots of interesting theories.
Update me on that. Julius was held hostage where and by whom?
Well, he was in that embassy. Julian Assange,
Ecuador.
Ecuador is stuck in the little embassy for.
Couldn't get out.
Well, he's fine over there. But if he walked out of it, they said like the U.S. We had a thing on him, like we wanted to bring him back here, indicted him, or have paperwork out. This is under past administrations, of course.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't leave.
So is Q trying to tell us that maybe Julius maybe he's been pardoned?
I think he's here. I think some of these posts are talking about that they arrived in Hawaii like a week ago or something. It was like, I don't know if it was Julian Assange, Snowden. If some of these people like Snowden are now doing good things or helping like to redeem themselves.
What did that last one just say? Oh gosh, I can't remember which one you were just on one. And I was starting to read it. They haven't. Don't worry.
Right here.
They no longer have hostages or power to enact threats made before. Ceased to exist before the 1,000 pieces. CIA is scattered to wind in 1,000 pieces. Threat strings are cut. So is everybody just like running for their lives now? You're going to start seeing individuals from the CIA and FBI roll over each over.
A lot of them start acting delirious and sick.
Oh.
And
Hillary fell, and what'd she do? Sprain
India.
her. She hurt her ankle or her hand, and then they caught her pass. I think she's starting to set the
stage.
For you can't throw me in prison. The next thing you're gonna know, when they do get her in, of course, you're gonna have an oxygen tank,
A
and
wheelchair, and
Your Honor, my client can't go to prison.
Just sitting there like-
She's clearly ready
Kind of
to
faking
die.
some medical
Right.
issues.
Well, that's their angle. I think now a lot of they said so many from people on both sides of the game or the fence, but you got a lot of Democrats in the last year or two that have resigned, quit, walked away, not fought for pensions or anything that they're due. Just like ugh. The ones that are sticking around are the ones that are like we're going down with the ship, or they're hoping that it won't, but
Well, they're trying to right the ship.
Yeah.
They got to be.
it's getting a little.
I find it quite comical that the last straw or the last effort when you're clinging on is at first they deny, and then they accuse Trump to deflect away from them, and now that they're starting to get busted, well, all else has failed. Now we're dying, or we're
Yes.
mentally ill. Well, we knew you were mentally ill anyway.
Yeah.
It's the biggest reason why you didn't get in the White House, but it's just weird at the steps that they have taken to get here. In the early beginnings, there was no talk of it. There was no Clinton corruption, no DNC corruption. Their own people are rolling over on them. The DNC chair, all the information about giving the answers to the questions before they go on, and then the whole dossier spin, that was paid for by the DNC, and now they found themselves at a point where, gee, you remember when nobody cared? Now they're just right in the spotlight, and now it's just, we can't even deny it anymore, so we're just mentally retarded.
Yeah, I was looking at this one here. I guess it was on the screen while we were talking a little bit, but I pulled it off. Trust the plan, full control. That was in reference to an Anon had asked Q team trust sessions still or nah? Why is Fox saying McCabe will skate? Trust the plan, full control. So we know now that McCabe was fired, right?
I'm starting to understand this a little bit. So this
is a guy. So sometimes Q.
this is part of these are guys like you, part of the Q team, basically. Well,
Yes.
Whether you're not part of it or not, but they're asking a question, then Q's responding.
Yes, and then
Okay.
Q. See here where it says anonymous, and there's no Q. When Q posts, instead of saying anonymous, it says Q. Everyone else on the boards is anonymous.
Are we on there yet?
Yes.
We are on there. You can ask questions to
Well,
Q.
right here, this is it. See how Q post, and then these are all the anonymous, and they come with numbers. Each, this is 6800795 anonymous writer. These are all anonymous people.
Okay, now I get it.
Everyone's anonymous in this, and for 20 years on the 4chan, 8chan, everyone is anonymous. That's what blew the first thing when this guy started posting. He was able to have the Q letter. How do you even get that?
I get it.
So yeah, and a lot of times,
I hate you. Oh man.
yeah. Well, look, when Q posts this, and then all these people post, sometimes he'll go back up to one of these, grab it, and then that's what you see. Like on this one,
He's copied and
he
pasted.
copied and pasted it. That way, when he says "trust the plan, full control," you know what he's talking about.
Okay. All
At
right.
least somewhat, a little bit of. I'm referring to this guy's comment, and here's what I'm telling this guy.
So this anonymous was asking, why is Fox saying McCabe will skate?
Yeah. I'm reading all your stuff. I'm following you, Q, but this isn't adding up over here. Well, that's the mainstream media. That's what don't trust the mainstream,
Trust the plan. Yeah.
full control.
Don't listen to noise or the pundits.
No, I've been
Yes.
watching Fox, and my take on it is they're the ones saying,
He's
probably
it's
gonna
who,
roll.
It's who you watch, though.
oh, okay.
Watch Fox earlier in the day. You know what I'm saying? It's not everybody. Now he tells you who's the one guy that's on at 9 o'clock or
Tucker?
something. After Tucker.
Oh, the Brit?
Hannity.
Oh, Hannity.
Yeah, he's talked about in here a lot as being, a truther, like getting the truth out. One of the few,
But not Marlowe from MSNBC.
Yeah.
She's my fave.
So look at this one. March 15th, by the way, Q took this anonymous guy's stuff, right? And this guy put up the Central Intelligence, and then he took a screenshot of the Secretary or the Department of State, Rex Tillerson there now, right? Mm-hmm. And then the guy that just left there, Mike Pompeo. Mm-hmm. Pompeo, is it?
Pompeo.
Okay, Pompeo. So then this guy goes, so Pompeo is Trump's guy. As the head of the CIA, he went there to gather all the intel and all the shady CIA shit we've been doing here and all overseas. Then moves to the State Department to use that intel from the CIA to help free the world from the CIA bullshit. And look at this.
Well,
Trust Kansas. That might be where this poster's from. Who knows? Let's click on that.
well, the timing is very interesting with the North Korean talks coming up next month,
Yeah.
April.
Yes.
Yeah. How
Get
dare
somebody
is
new
interesting.
in, get them up to speed.
Yeah.
Very.
Former head
So
of the
Pompeo
CIA.
did his job, right?
It seems like he was over there the whole time, or at least collecting things like like Edward Snowden did when he took the thumb drive.
Sure.
You have the head of the thing, kind of getting, all the info. Trump pulls him out of there now, or where did this Pompeo? What is he doing? What is Mike Pompeo doing now? Is he the head of the CIA? That's where he went. Where did he come from? Do we
He
know
was
that?
the head of the CIA. Now he's the head of the state.
That's what it is. So okay, there you go. That's what he.
Secretary of State.
Yep.
Yep.
And what did Rex?
'Cause Tillerson,
And Rex is out.
Yeah.
Tillerson's out. Who was
Well,
in
that's
pockets of the Republicans pretty hard.
if we look at this, so that makes sense. Let me get this back up. Merge. Look, Iran next RT. Well, check this one out, Scott and Jeff. Right here. Now, we're not beating a dead horse here or anything, folks. Yes, I've gone over these and read them a little bit, but so this was like 3 days before Rex got fired. Secretary Tillerson arrives in Nairobi to meet with Kenyan leadership. And I don't know if this, this is him getting off the plane. But who is this Barack and Michelle? Is that what we're seeing here? This is from a few days ago before Tillerson got fired. And it's Secretary Tillerson arrives at Nairobi to meet with Kenyan leadership to further the U.S.-Kenya partnership and discuss ways we can work together to counter terrorism, advance peace and security, promote good governance, and spur mutual beneficial trade. So here's Tillerson. Who is this? Is this Barack? Is this Michelle? This is at 8:52 on 9th of March. You follow the red line up. The day before, an anonymous poster showed Trump pointing at Obama and then a meme, when I'm done here, to be like, you are never here. You take that time, come down to this. So that was posted well before. And then Q put, when we're done here, he'll claim Kenyan citizenship as a way to escape. And then the red line off Kenyan citizenship goes up. And then Tillerson was fired 2 or 3 days later after this. So coincidence? I don't really know what that actually means, but do you believe in?
Well, nobody's hitting the wire about it.
So I do not. March, man, it's public most soon. So I guess we just trust. I mean, I've heard trust Sessions a lot, and Mueller. Are we trusting Sessions and Mueller? Have we seen anything? All right, so let's jump into.
He says, I'm the first Kenyan American to be president. Weird.
Who was?
Obama. He gave a speech back in July of 2015 over there. So now the conspiracy is that he's back over there and he's going to trade in his American citizenship to be a Kenyan citizen so he can't be tried when all this crap hits the fan.
Well, they don't have they don't. We have a treaty or whatever with them. It's not a place that you can go to and like hide and be protected.
Oh.
What do you call that? Extradition. Extradition treaties. So,
well, yeah, but if he ran for presidency over there and was acting sitting president or dictator or whatever,
there you go.
How are you going to throw that guy in American prison?
Exactly.
He doesn't seem like the type of guy that's going to just walk away and go away. You know, he's kind of like, him and Hillary eat from the same tablecloth. They're not going away. She's over there in, where the hell was that? What country is she in right now? Spewing off at the mouth again. She just won't go away. Was it India? India.
This one won't come in too clear. How to read the map chronologically. So start from the, okay, 1's over here, 2, and then everything dumps into 3, and it comes out. So let me follow the link.
The Illuminati card game.
So this was 1 over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is this goes back to Lemuria and Atlantis. This is going back to the beginning.
Lucifer.
Like
Babylon.
that's all Atlantis and Lemuria. That's all like
Solomon's Temple.
Pharaohs of Egypt, the Horus I, high priest of. So this is a whole.
So all the conspiracy theories are dumped into this map.
Dilemma. Ooh.
What is all this over here? What's the blue representing the war and violence?
What's that?
Knights of Malta, Sisters of Isis, Switzerland by the Templars in 1291. You look up the word ISIS, ISIS. It goes. It's 3,000 years old. I mean, it's always popping up. So that I think it's more an acronym than anything, but you do see it often.
Well,
Blows my mind.
yeah, it's like exactly. They. What were you saying, Jeff? What was what up here?
Top right, it looks like
Let me get up
an
there.
oval, right there.
What it encompasses,
Yeah.
Paul the Third. All that stuff happened, I believe, under
Kind of oval border around it. Yeah.
all kind of happened during the third Pope Paul's.
So this is interesting too. You know that this Aleister Crowley right here.
Mr. Crowley.
You know that George Bush Sr. is married to Aleister Crowley's daughter.
Really? Barbara Bush was Crowley?
Yes.
What?
That wouldn't
That's
shock me.
that's what they
because-
say. Like this Crawley specifically did something pretty. However, they had that daughter. By the way, it was all of a ritual, and then it was kind of like offered up to the older Bush back then. And he's like, oh yeah, perfect. That's kind of the seedy. What he wanted. I don't know how.
Kind of like an arranged marriage?
Barbara Bush was born Barbara Pierce.
Look at her dad. Look up her dad.
Okay. But you do know that they're somewhere, I don't know if it's in this or not, but Bush used to be, it's German,
Yeah.
Oh, the older the
Busch or
yeah
E.
Bushy or Busha.
Bush. And
You're
then
right.
mysteriously, they changed their names and they ended up in the United States with lots of money. And
Actually, yeah, me and
didn't
one of the
all come from
episodes.
oil.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
episodes me and Ben did a few weeks ago. We
Yeah.
got into that whole
Yeah.
Bush. Yeah, right.
Remember
That's
that,
what I'm,
yeah.
So, yeah, see if we can find that Aleister Crowley. But we're still looking here. Titanic, all these Jackal Islands in there. That was the old 19. Them men met in secrecy on Jackal Island and conformed the whole Federal Reserve Act.
Federal Reserve, yeah.
yeah, that was one of the biggest conspiracies, or biggest crimes made on the
Yeah.
American people.
It's what really got us into the game. It was kind of like we were fighting off ever since 1776 to stay away from like a centralized banking system. That was huge for a lot of presidents. They had on their deathbeds like, what was the greatest thing you ever did? And he's like, I fought off the bankers. And they'd croak and stuff. It was huge.
In the War of 1812,
Yes,
the cost of a war. It was
Yes.
like, we need some money.
that's right. It's right, folks. NATO. Look at this one. The King JFK assassination was, a sacrificial offering. Tells you.
Think of what he'd accomplished if he hadn't been killed.
Right here, King sacrifice JFK. They said that they didn't have to do that out in the open, folks. I mean, they could do things in the at nighttime.
It was a message.
Somebody sleeping.
Definitely
It was a message,
sent.
public message, just like 9/11. They like to do these certain things. It's an offering.
Embedded in your brain then for forever. I mean, people. When you watch the video over and
Bay
over
of
of
Pigs.
JFK getting shot, I don't care who you are. I've watched the special where they proved it was one shooter. Whatever. No way. But when I see that, I wasn't even born. But my stomach crawls. I stood right where all three bullets, supposedly were hit him.
Yeah,
There's
it's
little
difficult to
marks on
watch.
the road. And I went up to the museum, and my gut was still turning. And then I'm sitting there talking to my dad and other people, thinking, how did you feel when they were horrified? And it's not that just because your president was killed. It's the fact that in a great country like this, how does that happen and nobody knows? They pinned it on one shooter and then Jack Ruby, but if you start doing your own digging, you'll find that Ruby was dying anyway, so he was a pawn in the game, and he ended up killing, gosh darn it, the shooter, JFK's killer.
Harvey.
Yeah.
Was it really him?
Yeah, and then Ruby offs him, so you never really got any testimony from him, and then Ruby ends up dying. And mysteriously his family was taken care of, but he was in financial trouble right before that, plus he had cancer and was dying. So when you see JFK's head get blown around like that. It's not just that he's your president, but oh my gosh, it's kind of like what's going on today with Hillary Clinton and whatnot. The people are listen. We're all sinners, and I think most people would agree that they expect conspiracies and these types of things to happen. You know, where senators and presidents screw around. But they're to be fired. They're supposed to be thrown through the judicial system. But you know, the whole JFK experience, and now this experience. How is the people? How can we allow this to happen and not call for punishment?
Well,
The whole public execution sends it's a psyop. It sends a huge message
yeah.
to those that would.
We got to the president, so we can get to you.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
I mean, it's downright scary, and I think that's probably how the Clintons have gained all their power. You can see the party starting to step away from them, but lots of people end up dead
you're
around
gonna
that
have to
damn family.
Distance yourself if you want to get anywhere.
Yeah. And they're starting to separate themselves from Bill big time. And Hillary, you know, she might think that she's going to run for 2020, but the DNC, they will lose the next 10 elections if they don't separate themselves from her. It's kind of like the Bushes, but, you know, worse. Nobody wanted any more Bushes. That's why Jed wasn't ever going to get nominated. We're tired of you, Hillary. You can move on now. No,
That is
Right here, we're going to take a look at this.
good Lord.
Okay, hold on here. Cut. All right. So, yeah, we'll get into...
As a Mason, I find this interesting.
Now, this, again, this outer realm is not, these are the most not knowing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, the American Legion. Everything is owned, right? We know that everything's owned. But if you do follow the arrows, it's just the one person. This is closer to the inner circle, right? The inner circle is the circle, the inside of it. So these are the people that really know. And then even some, you know, these people are going to know lots. But then as you come out here to these, they don't know anything.
So you're saying
how
those lines cross, those are the, like,
that's the guy. There's like the guy that's somewhere in between here in Chicago or somewhere in the Midwest. And it's like he's put in place there. Things cross through him. And that's their compartmentalization type thing. It's like that guy, things here.
He knows a little bit, but he doesn't
know the whole.
But you're saying like right in the middle where they all meet, or where there's a group of them that meet, that might be.
Hold on here, me.
Because I use the fun term of table of 10.
Look at these. I mean, you could start looking up every one of these names, and they are all real people.
George Soros. Let's,
you will see, like over here, Bill Clinton.
Ugh.
Yeah, look at those lines.
Martin Fieldstein. I mean, a lot of the names you might not know. Here's a Rothschild right here.
This is a pretty big club.
Look at this. Nightline. Everything is for.
Can we analyze George Soros? Can we? What's it pointing to?
Let me see. Let me back up a little bit here.
His name comes up in the news a lot. Yeah, it's over on the bottom left corner, or bottom left side of that circle of names.
That whole information that was released about Soros.
Up to the left, up to the left.
That he helped the Nazis.
Oh, as a kid or
yeah.
Now
to
there's
show him where the
here.
Jews were.
Can you click on him and that shows his connections or his ties, or do we just have to
look at all the ones coming off of him?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh God, how do you?
Well, his name comes up a lot in the conspiracy theorists who believe he's financing Antifa and BLM. You know, paying. I mean, these people are. It costs money to truck them around the country and protest, and it's all staged. But who's in charge? You know, and they always say, "I gotta believe some of it." He's an evil son of a gun.
Where's that one out? Right here. This is the one we'll go to. Check this one out.
Military and intelligence, huh? So this is all just showing you the connections, but I mean, other than the connections, is did somebody just put all this stuff together to kind of like blow your mind and get you thinking?
Well, no,
or
this is what Q says. You know, some of the posts that when you just read them, it says connect the map, connect the dots. If you look at the 900 Q post, and they kind of, like you said, you don't understand it. You just read these things. They're kind of this. Some of it. This is what his words look like.
Oh.
It's a visual of what he's been saying. Connect the dots, build the maps, get it all ready to so everyone knows it. This is just truth, supposedly. You know, I mean, oh, it's tough to look at. So if you look at it right here, again, this is.
I'm with you. Somebody put a lot of time into this.
I mean, this is the. So there's that inner circle again, and before we were just kind of looking out to the first realm of it.
What are they
This is a
saying the
complete
inner
map.
circle is? I mean, what does the inner circle really represent?
Those are the ones that control everything. So the narrative streams outward
From there.
from this.
So that is my table of 10 that I'm always talking about.
The elite few.
And then this is where their fingers, their puppets. This is where.
See how everything crosses through almost. I mean, I see some lines just going straight by that. But it does come into this circle. See this in here, all this pink is
All knowing.
knowing. On this shell here, this is a connection to the outside world of it. Anything
okay.
to the left of that, anything in the white is unwittingly participants, right? That's how I would put it. Like they're part of it because that's how the structure works, but they're
Right.
not so much.
Sure.
I'm just doing my job. I'm just putting this with this.
The
That's
vice
it.
president of sales of Boeing has no idea what's going on 3 or 4 levels above him.
Exactly. The narrative, like this, like we know the American Legion. We all visited them. We like them. Is my local American Legion bad? Is some guy from this circle coming into my Legion putting his hand in the drawer to get some money? Probably not. That's not what we're talking about here. It's just you follow that line and you have that one guy there that can help shift the narrative of the cause, or you know what I'm saying?
You
Like
followed
just
that line? Deflect.
let me see here. We're gonna take that
Good luck.
straight off. It's just they go straight. They don't bend.
Oh, okay.
So once you actually have these printed out, they're a little
So
easier.
it's between. It's under Henry Kissinger.
It's probably Henry Kissinger
John
or
Douche.
yeah, John Ackerman, is it? Or John Douche or John Ackerman or Henry Kissinger. So, and it's like, well, I never knew he was involved in that. I never heard his name. Well, you wouldn't. That's not what these people are here to do. They don't, you know, other than like Bill Clinton, but still it's just like they don't, and again, you wouldn't see this guy down at your local Legion drinking beers on Friday night. It's not,
Right.
you know. But it's just how everything is tied in, who owns what, who controls what. And it's just, this is one of the things Q keeps, you know, build the map, you know, connect the dots. And that's,
You know what that
people
reminds me of
did that. That's what they did.
is when you run Maltego. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yes.
How you develop relationships, who is connected with this, who's connected with that. When you run the machine on Maltego, it looks a lot like that.
Like that. Let me see here. Let's go down a little more.
Symbols.
Corporate America, huh?
Yeah, man.
Operation Mockingbird.
The gatekeepers. Foundation Fund.
Phony left media. If they don't like what we're doing, we don't get funded next year. All right, so let's go to this one. It's a pretty cool one. This is,
The media empire, huh?
you got the Council on Foreign Relations, comes over to the Bilderberg meetings, and then the Trilateral. Look at their webbing. And look at everything again.
I see George Soros again,
Yeah.
up there in the top left corner, number 17.
So I don't know the hierarchy or like what this is saying, who's in charge. I see kind of like this guy here,
Who is that guy that they got above
Fox.
News?
I think that's that Rupert, isn't it?
Rupert Murdoch?
Yeah, is that Rupert? Let me close some of this shit out.
I guess I'm trying to wrap my brain around what's the relevance, because if they're all coming from the same branch, obviously the top left is where this number 24 Fox guy, he's tied into with Bloomberg's and everybody else up there in the top left. So what are they? I'm trying to understand the relevance. What are they trying to convince me of? Obviously, I can watch all of these news media outlets.
Is that him?
And there's a left and there's a right, but there's a hell of a lot more lefts than rights. So I'm trying to wrap my brain around what is this information and how do I understand what it is they're trying to teach me or tell me?
Just the big picture of how everything is narrative down.
Like he's one guy all by himself above Fox News.
Yeah,
right?
and that is the different narrative pitch, right, of most of the other channels.
And he's taken on everybody else?
No.
But he comes from the Bilderberg meeting group.
Is that, look, Rupert
That
Murdoch,
looks like
right?
him.
And he's the owner of Fox. I do know that.
It looks like Weekend at Bernie's there on the right. Wake up, man.
Let me see here.
So if we were to analyze this, then we can start finding out who's married to who had political seating with the Clintons. You know, I know under Obama,
So you
lots
made a
of
good
his
point.
people were married to somebody that was a senior vice president of
Yeah.
CNN or the New York Times, and so you always wondered how their agenda got across. And this is why the country seems to be brainwashed to me. Is in fact most of these people liberal and pushing their agenda, and then when they got Obama in office, then all of these fingers start coming out, and so now the average American, and I love it because it's the truth. Somebody sees on CNN, Trump's a racist. And then they go around, and you start interviewing strange people on the street, and they're like, why don't you like Trump? He's a racist. Mm-hmm. Because that's the first thing that they were told.
So that kind of pumps out, and that's how this works. So you got we know the Bilderberg group, the meetings. And you got that Rupert Murdoch coming directly out of that. And it's like, but I like Fox. And this is where it gets tough, right? Because it's an agenda. It is, you cannot have everything painted in one way. They're going to give you the different... But now, again, like we said, it is not the whole organization. We got good-hearted folks all along the way, embedded throughout. Remember how we always talked about everyone in the military, everybody in it? No. It's just...
Right.
And they're trying real hard to direct the narrative. So that would be this guy here above this, what falls under his stuff that he controls. We see huge things here. Fox movies, 20th Century Fox, Fox News. And then
so nothing gets on the air that he isn't aware of, or at least
they try really hard. That's where everyone's like, well, I know that girl. I went to high school with her, and she reads our local news. She's a good gal. She wouldn't be part of the system. Well, she probably isn't.
Right.
She's reading a teleprompter.
She wants a paycheck.
She wants a paycheck. It's her job.
Correct.
And she reads a teleprompter. So
Very well.
Unfortunately,
Right,
she's not writing news. She's reading news.
News. What was the old
What was that
saying?
one?
Our great leaders. There was a time that we were led by good men. The Walter Cronkites of the world and the Paul Harveys, and you felt like when you tuned in, you could trust who you were listening to. Nowadays, it's all scripted. It's all narrative. And is it me or during the Obama administration? I was a little younger with Clinton, but. And with the FBI investigation, and who's the one guy that just went to jail for his wife was Clinton's.
His wife was
not Feinstein, Uberdeen or whatever.
Huma. Huma Abedin.
So you start looking at all the connections. Is it? Yeah, PETA. So he gets in trouble for like a serious sexting type stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Anthony Weiner.
Prostitutes and all that. So
we were working at the time when all that busted out.
So is it me or during the Obama administration, it got way liberal, the media did. And now we're starting to find out why, because people in his administration were married to or dating or sister or brother or daughter of. And you thought, oh my God, why was it? And why is it still now?
It's like
everybody loved Obama, and then boom, now all
that
media
Adam
hates
Schiff.
Trump.
Adam Schiff?
Yeah.
He's married to Soros's daughter.
crazy.
So now do you see his agenda?
Cra-
Why he
it makes-
sits there on TV?
Do you people know that? Do you know that Adam Schiff is married to George Soros' daughter?
Make sure I'm right on that. I hate being wrong.
Enough said. I mean, you're not going to tune into CNN and they're not going to tell you that.
No.
You know, why would they want to do that? Because they do know that a large part of America is a little bit afraid of or leery of George Soros. So why would you want to be attached to that guy's name? Well, they're not just going to come out and say it. So I'm starting to see why the FBI and the CIA and the Clinton and the Obama narrative was almost successful. When you look at, and one of these days, maybe Q's going to put together a map that I can follow about all the political ties. I would love to see that map. Who was married to who got who into a position. Now, I know all politics is that way, but am I wrong in thinking that the last 15 years or so, they were working and working and working until they almost got it perfect to where she could screw over the DNC. Yeah. She could lie and break the Constitution.
Okay, wait. Is that real quick on that? I think it was the midst of a divorce from Melissa Robin Schiff after more than 20 years of marriage. So I don't know.
Robert Soros, the 50-year-old son of George, was in the midst of a divorce from one Melissa Robin Schiff after more than 20 years of marriage. Let's say even if it's just a coincidence. Is it? No, it's a totally different Schiff, man. I was not,
Exactly.
I was not married into the George Soros family. Trust me.
All right. Well, we might be wrong. I'll do some more research, but it sounded good. But we're not trying to give you guys any false information. I'm not sure where I heard that, but
so
I did try.
Does
to
that
verify.
exist? Now you got my curiosity going because I've heard so much, and I'm not going to tell you what radio channels or whatnot because I don't want anybody saying, "Oh, you stole information from this person." All I can tell you is over the last year or two, I've heard and I've seen a lot of people trying like us to get that message across. Hey, pay attention to who so-and-so is.
Mm-hmm.
He's vice president of CNN. His wife is actually an administrator in the White House. And then you a couple of days later, that same speaker or, guy like you and I.
Look at this.
That's who I'm speaking of, by the way. InfoWars does a very good job of depicting and illustrating who is and how they are affiliated to the White House. And
what is this telling us? Alternative narratives domain network graph. Green, domain does not address alt narrative. Red, domain affirms an alternative narrative. Blue equals domain denies the alternative narrative. So the blue Washington Post, they deny it.
New York Times.
InfoWars is a big bubble in the game, and they promote it. Affirms it.
Domain affirms alt narrative.
The alternative narrative, right? Domain does not address alt narrative, cited as evidence green.
Okay.
And this just starts telling you all the. So if I click on it,
CBS News. Where's CNN at? And like it or not, Fox is the number one watched news outlet, I believe.
yeah, I believe it is.
CNN just plummeting. It's almost funny the way that they create news. I could do a very good job of like what you just ask
You
made
for?
the shift thing, you
Yeah.
know. That's CNN. Well, he's absolutely married to him. You heard it here first, so just pay attention to what we got to say. So how they're, who is in power? See, I don't see that yet, but gosh, we almost need to send Q that question. Can you or do you already have the information showing how, say, Uberdeen was Clinton's?
Oh, that's coming up here, right here.
Is it in there?
There is a connection. Well, let me get off this because I know. Wow, what is that? Hold on here, folks. Let me.
NATO,
I'm
Russia.
having issues today with this. I don't know.
That looks like we're playing a game of Risk.
Yeah. Let me. I just wanted to get off.
I'm gonna quit watching that until you come to us.
Yeah, that's why I got it off there. People are like, "Man, you're going too fast." This goes into all the Bush's stuff, Skull and Bones, Bush,
Oh, yeah.
Bush. Hold on, folks. We're getting somewhere here.
So all these
And the Hollywood
conspiracy
scandal.
theories can stop being theories.
They are now proven, right? Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to play devil's advocate, although I'm with you guys. So what? You're just showing me a bunch of lines. This is why I keep asking. What's it saying? What's the map?
Well, how about this one? Look, U.S. government underground facilities, DUMS.
Now we've known about this for a while, and when we start getting into, and when we take this show to the next level, folks, you are going to freak out because we're going to bring up some things that Cooper and Schneider and some of those guys. This is one of them. Q hasn't even touched on any of this yet. When he does, man, this is one of the most interesting. There you go.
So this is
pyramid of shit.
Yeah. Look at this.
Pardon my language, but.
The DOJ, Department of Justice, this is the investigation, right? You got Obama, the tie coming off to Lynch, this over here to Comey, Andrew McCabe. What happened to him?
Comey and McCabe are Obama's people, right? And when Trump came into office, do you remember what the left and CNN and MSNBC was saying about Comey? Oh, he's horrible. Trump needs to fire him. He's no good. Well, wait a minute. He was Obama's boy. But Trump's like, you know what? No, I'm going to keep him around long enough to suck some information out of him and find out what the hell is going on at the DOJ. And then when they did fire him, what happened, Mikey? When they fired Comey, CNN and all them same liberals,
they were pissed.
Flip-flopped. How could they fire? He can't. Oh, he's trying to cover something. Comey's trying to look into. You guys are complete idiots. You didn't even see what was right in front of you. Like you just talked to, you explained it very well.
Well, they wanted him fired when it was.
How long is the attention span of the average person?
To the next event or the next news cycle. The next news cycle. But so here's the pyramid of shit. I seen this somewhere before, but I didn't see necessarily the pictures and whatnot. But
here's the two cheating FBI. Remember the one, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok?
Yeah, right under the Wicked Witch.
So here's Fusion GPS.
The dossier.
Yep, the FBI dossier timeline right here. So you got all the dates, the audits, the FISA. Just shows you the whole slew of shit.
Why didn't FISA
Here's
become
the
a bigger
insurance.
thing than it did?
What was the question?
The FISA.
Like the abuses.
Yeah.
Why didn't
that become
huge?
I mean,
I was
it's
screaming
covered
about
up
it.
because the guys at the top of the DOJ were Obama and Clinton's people.
Well,
they were.
why
you
didn't-
saw they spun it. They kept saying, "Oh, this wasn't." You remember Trump's tweet he put? "Oh, just found out Obama and his past administration spied on me in the campaign." Instantly that morning, you had like Chris Cuomo on CNN, like, "Folks, out of left field this morning, we got a tweet Trump Trump tweeted at 4 a.m. and out of left field, he's talking about the Obama spied on him in his campaign. What an outrage! We have absolutely no proof."
Set the narrative.
For 5 months, they screamed, "No proof, no
It
proof."
was all about release the memo.
When it
release
came
the
out,
memo.
then it was CNN. They're like, "Well, folks, we were wrong."
Yeah.
No, they were spun it again. They're like, "Well, here's what we know now, folks. Now that we looked at all this, Trump in his tweet said that they spied on me and how treasonous. We know they didn't spy on him. They spied on this guy and this other guy next to him.
Yeah.
Steal.
Still,
which
and
is
which
is illegal. Which is illegal because I think I just lost a mic or something. Or
No.
okay. Something just spiked on me. Which is illegal because you can't listen on my phone calls in hopes that you call me because they're really looking for you, right?
Right.
And they're hoping that Jeff calls and say, "Hey man, that shipment of heroin came in. Boom, we finally got Jeff." You can't use me.
Yeah.
So that narrative that CNN tried to spin is garbage.
Well, and that's what they were saying. Like all Trump, at first act like CNN was like, "This is preposterous and outlandish that they would do that." And then when it came out to be true, it was like, now we know, folks, we know Trump was wrong because he said they spied on me. They did not spy on him. They spied on this guy and this other guy next to him.
Yeah.
So therefore,
They
Trump was
were-
wrong.
But every time they mention
they-
Trump's name, they quit listening, right? That's what you're trying.
Yeah.
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 No.
What do you think on that, Jeff? They spun it.
Well, yeah. Once you're a person of interest, they are going to listen in on you.
Oh yeah, that's when they turn things your way. I mean, they collectively get everything sitting on hard drives, but actively, if you're in heightened level of
Like Christopher Steele,
he was
they're
in a heightened mode.
definitely knew all his phone numbers.
Sure.
Well, and then the minute they get the authorization in that courthouse that day from that special FISA court judge, the minute you're walking out with if you're looking, we need to spy on Trump's campaign. I give you the authorization. They're cutting out of there. They're telling, all right, Joe, you go get on that system. You're going to look at everything Trump's talked about in the last 8 years, all the recorded shit. You're now allowed to go to that hard drive and start pulling that out. So there's one angle. You're going backwards.
Yeah.
Then you're, of course, anything in the future is going to be recorded and added to that system. But now they do, like you said, heighten in to get like people listening live time as it's happening. That way they're listening, but they also have a crew of people going over the history.
Is that what you guys are saying? You believe that warrant, for some reason, which sounds illegal to me, gave Clinton and the DNC permission to go ahead and listen to past conversations?
That's nuts.
Did the warrant include that? Because I don't think you can go backwards on a warrant issued today.
Those FISA warrants give you full realm to that person. That's what they talk about. Like, so it's dumb that they can go back because they're going to go all the way back to the beginning. Like,
this is the Patriot Act, folks. This is the Patriot Act. This is what happened from 9/11 and everybody falling victim to giving up more of your rights. 9/11 was a catastrophe, but while the war was going and why the buildings were falling, they already were implementing the Patriot Act, which was
a night or two later.
Take a little bit more of your freedoms.
And Bush, the NDAA,
the
National Defense Authorization Act,
Military's Tread Mules Act,
and then when it came up for review, Obama
reauthorized. So did Trump. Did Trump just redo it?
And then Obama just didn't renew it. He put it on steroids.
Oh yeah, he boasted a little bit, but I don't know if Trump just. I'm not gonna say it like that, but he did redo something. It was to do with the surveillance, something to do with our Surveillance Act. It was renewed, and of course we need that on a scale, I guess. But I don't know.
Listen, I'm not naive, and neither are you. Trump's not going to just shoot down everything that ever has been done by the.
Well, they have come out.
He's going to have to do some just to keep the politics going.
Well, yeah. Well, they also said no matter what. I
mean, look at DACA. He let the people stay. You know, he's granting. Yeah. Oh my God! But you didn't see CNN roll out the carpet. Now, right after that, they're like, "Well, so what? We finally got what we wanted. But what we really want now is like what we talk about all the time. He gave a little, and now they want a little bit more.
Yeah.
So once you give a mile, the inch given them.
Once you give something to these idiots, you can never get it back either.
So that pyramid of shit is man, I want to dig into that really deep and start finding the connections to said media groups.
Yeah.
Because I know it exists. I've heard it enough. Like Uberdeen was one of them. What the hell was her position with Hillary? A personal assistant?
She was the secretary to her for the okay, so when Hillary took the job as Secretary of State, they had to draft up, I don't know if it's special paperwork, but they drafted up paperwork for Hillary to sign. I think Obama, I don't know if he wrote it, but Obama had it ordered up. Just to all look good, but Hillary had this piece of paper that would say she would separate herself from her Clinton Foundation and the Secretary of State job because of the work they did was so. We travel overseas, we do this, we negotiate. That's what you do over here,
missing children, Haiti.
So they had her sign.
That's a deep rabbit hole.
They had her sign special paperwork saying she'd keep herself all separated. Now, Huma was her aide for the Secretary of State job and for the fucking excuse my language, foundation.
Our first F-bomb, folks. I think
it really makes me mad, folks, that she had the same person. So when the phone rang at 8 a.m.
That's a conflict of interest.
That's right there. It is. It's like, so that's what they were saying. This whole thing got real muffled. It was like, so during the day when people were calling Huma and you're answering the phone, was it answering it's for the Clinton Foundation or for this job?
Well, it just depended on what that phone
and
called.
That's what they found out, that Huma went and did a thing during 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning for the Clinton Foundation. And it's like, you just
can't do that.
How? Well, how does it separate? When are you off the clock from this?
So
how do we know when you're not on the dollar for the State Department job that we as taxpayers pay?
Right.
And phone calls are coming in or emails. And Huma's supposed to be there but she's the aide for both of these.
She's a big player in Pizzagate too, right?
Sounds weird.
The children and the sex ring and all the scary stuff that Rogan and Jones and everybody has talked about.
Look, I'm going to find it. Beyond the Memo, Uranium One scandal. If you want to look at all these broke down, they're all here.
Ooh, wow.
Uranium One was
unbelievable. Where did Iran get their uranium?
From Russia.
But where did Russia get theirs? Where did North Korea get theirs?
Well, the Russia, the one that we just had, this uranium one scandal. It gets really shady, man. It's that was the Russia, and we had a guy in 2009. They literally had
the Moscow meeting. Look at that.
They literally had
Bill Clinton.
Trump's best friend Putin shaking hands with Bill Clinton and the Clinton administration foundation.
My big thing is in 2009, well before Trump, we had a citizen that was involved in, he works for some company here in the United States that does uranium. Like he's, and he started seeing this collusion and these Russian kind of mobsters say things. They offered him stuff. So he went home that night and he's like, and he called the FBI and they're like, come on down. So he went in, told him the whole story. They're like, we're going to leave you there. This is great. And they left him there to get more. Yeah. He became not a paid, but just a good citizen that already was in this area. And he started reporting and feeding back 2009, 10. And then this deal still happened. And he was like, what the hell? And twice he went to try to stop it. And he got, that you signed this disclosure with the FBI. And they threatened him, if you go forward to Congress to try to tell them any more about this, we're going to ruin your life, sue you because you signed this. So he couldn't. And then time and time left. And then it got to be 3-4 years later, the Trump campaign. Then he starts hearing about Russia collusion and all this. And he's like, no. And why did they ever let that deal go through? So he got a lawyer. And now finally Congress is hearing this guy. And now they're questioning, like, why didn't we hear about this in 2009? These people are doing bribes.
Because of Obama's DOJ.
Yeah, it's like they purposely. And now when you go to say, the State Department signed off. Hillary's plausible deniability is, there was 13 other agencies that had to sign off on this, folks. I'm not the only one, or our department, but it was like this.
Yeah.
But you're the only one that probably knew that there was some shady shit.
Of course. Of course.
None of the other groups did. You guys purposely didn't let this guy come forward.
It was working like
so all these groups would sign off, and then therefore now Hillary's got these other groups.
It was working like a well-oiled machine until she insulted half the United States and called us deplorables, and that's probably when all these other players went, God, you know what? It's set up for you to win. All you got to do is campaign, and she didn't take this president election seriously. She insulted, and I got to believe, as corrupt as it's starting to look, these people freaked out when they see, you remember election night.
Yeah.
He's not going to win, folks. He's not going to win. Everybody's laughing. Oh, so what? He took this day.
Numbers are coming in.
And then when it started, you watched people that,
it was
all these
hilarious to watch CNN on election night.
It was comical.
Blitzer was trying, and what is his name? John?
I don't.
What, from what channel?
CNN.
John Lemon or Don Lemon?
No, not Don Lemon. His name's John, and
I don't know enough of the cast over there.
No,
I don't know enough of the cast.
I don't. But yeah. So you see,
John,
with all of the BS, the monkey poo that we've talked about and keep talking about, they kept throwing at Trump.
Look at this one.
And now we finally find out that it was them the whole time. So, of course, it all works together. The media is tied in with the Obama administration, the Obama DOJ. Like you were saying earlier, how they kept, what's his name around, McCabe long enough. Or no. Rex Tillerson. Get over there and find out all this dirt, And then people are all upset when Trump starts firing all these people or letting them go. Hey, listen. He was going to replace him anyway. His goal is to replace him. But he ain't going to release him until he sucks all the information out of him about what the hell's going on over at the DOJ. The guy's brilliant. You don't just fire him. You keep him around and you investigate him under oath while they're working for the federal government.
That's right. Here, I'll put this one up on the screen if you want to read some, Scott, or whoever.
Which one? What do you want? The ugly web of an attempted coup.
The scandal-free Obama administration, they're calling this one. So the ugly web, yeah. So Obama's government conspirators. You have, look, that Peter Strzok from the FBI, the Andrew McCabe, then that Lisa Page.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had James Comey coming down. So was he above Comey? Comey was under him then, huh?
Yeah, McCabe was.
He was the acting AI. What was he?
Deputy.
Deputy, there it was, yeah. So then you had Comey, and then you had...
Oh, God, Eric Holder.
Where at?
Right to the left
yes.
of this part.
This is John Brenneman, is it? Yeah.
Yep.
Scandal Free, Fast and Furious.
James Clapper.
Scroll down a little bit, and you better not tell me that's John McCain.
Yep. McCain.
I knew he was crooked.
Well, why, out of nowhere.
You don't stay in power
And
that
again-
long unless you have shit on people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
he hasn't done anything for this country.
Isn't he acting all sick too? Doesn't he have like a brain
I got
aneurysm?
brain cancer. You can't try me. You can't try. Now Hillary's got a hurt hand and she's getting headaches and passing. This is all started.
I see his angle.
unraveling.
I see his angle.
Yeah.
Brain cancer.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just joking.
But
folks.
they said he's got, most people, like 99% of the people that have that brain cancer die. Young kids that are healthy at 12 years old with a healthy body die from it. His old Skeletor ass is living. It should have killed him by now. So
out of this whole thing, this is one. I did an episode on this whole one here.
oh, good Lord.
And that's just one out of the
You
millions.
see
of
that
things
one right
in here.
there? Scroll just a little. Right there. Up a little. Down the touch. Schultz Schumer, 187 murder death.
187 murder, death, kill, which
Yeah.
is a order. 187. That we know cops use.
187, yeah,
that's
that's
a murder.
That's homicide.
Yep,
Yeah.
homicide. So if you follow that over, that just was showing the when they hired the MS-13 to kill Seth Rich here. The Cloward Piven strategy is kind of strolling here. Yeah, Muslim Brotherhood's coming up again big time.
Uma Abedin has
Ties to that. That's what I was looking for, the Huma thing, but concept, schools, vendors, what is this going on here? Concept. Nigeria Foundation honorary president.
Man, Q. This is all done by Q and or his people.
Well, no, the Anons, so the anonymous folks that have been following them
To do the research.
to do the research.
put
Again,
together.
I will show you. If we go to, come on now, let me go to. Hey,
What's that say? Not Monopoly. What
Going
Gullen
up is a label of a global organization that operates a clandestine network of followers devoted to the Muslim Derek.
Oh man.
So yeah, this is if we go to
This rabbit hole almost scares me to keep going down.
I wanted to show you this, Scott. Why am I not getting what I want? So if we go,
You got a new one? Oh no. Nothing on March 16th or 17th yet, huh?
nope,
Was he prepping for St. Patty's Day?
he's busy.
Oh man.
He's busy. Busy saving
See
the
you
world,
Monday morning.
man.
I got a long weekend. I guess he's entitled to some time off.
I don't know how I'm just having a brain fart here, I guess. The Great Awakening site is not getting me where I want to go, but all right, so
Apple update removes Easter. While he's doing whatever he's doing, I thought I'd hit one of my note topics on the way in this morning. Folks, if you got an Apple device, look at your calendar. I found it ironic. I guess some of you may or may not. I don't really know where I'm going with this, other than if you look at your calendar, tell me what day Easter's on this year. Look for, in the calendar, it usually says Christmas, it says Passover, it says this, full moon, half moon, whatever, summer solstice. It used to say Easter. This morning it doesn't. Don't know what that means or...
It's early this year.
all right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
And-
right after the update,
And why do you have an Apple?
because I've always had it, and once I had, it's just one change is horrible for me. I'm getting up there in age, and I don't like technology anyway, so I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer, right? So
You're more susceptible with those.
so
no?
Palm Sunday's the 25th, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
The 30th is Good Friday.
They're labeling it still,
31st is Passover.
but nothing on.
The word Easter does not exist in the Apple dictionary anymore. Kind of goes along with that one scary word, Jesus.
Oh,
Careful now. You're not even allowed to talk about Jesus.
The name we don't say right now is, a Machane, but eventually it'll be. All right, so here, I just wanted to show you guys this, and Scott, I know I showed it a little bit before. But this is on the Q research, the Q board, right? The Great Awakening. And yeah, this is the amount. So
I'm related to the guy second in order holding that flag up. I just found that out. My grandmother's cousin was the original. Because
Wow.
that picture was taken twice.
Wow.
Actually, that picture was taken once, obviously. But that flag, the flag,
Iwo Jima.
the Iwo Jima raising of the flag was done twice.
I got a good buddy of mine in the served within the Navy, and he's got descent. There's a Livingston, that's his last name, on the Constitution.
Nice.
So I was like, man, you have to get you on the show. A little descendant of the signer of a Constitution.
Well, he does, yeah. But then we're going to have to admit that because his great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was in the Constitution, then we're going to have to admit that somebody's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was an indentured servant, or and then their opinion actually matters on the subject, and I don't even want to go there.
All right, so on this board, this is what it's all about. Q. There was just the different areas to get into. Everyone that's involved in this movement, when it was under 1 million of us, now we're upwards of 20 million. That was a month ago. It was a month ago. Q posted over 20 million reach so far with the Q.
It's steamrolling.
It's steamrolling, and that's what he says on the boards. That in the next few months, these boards will become. Everyone will be talking about them on the planet. All the mainstream media will be talking about it.
Have you seen mainstream at all?
No.
Talk about it?
No,
Why would they not be?
because they don't know about it yet.
20 million.
It's up to us to get the word out, and while we're doing everything. we're
CNN
doing.
will never show Q.
Well, eventually, if it becomes like
So
total
big they have
truth,
to.
total
Unless they can
truth
spin
is
it.
dumped, and then we
Well,
see
no,
people.
if it's total truth, CNN's not going to show it.
Yeah.
But if it's so big that they see that the viewers, I mean, you just said 1 million to 20 million in how much time?
It was like a month ago. I'll go back and find that
Well
post.
done, Q Anonymous is.
All of it.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what we're doing.
this
We're
is-
doing it
yeah,
too.
so
You're part of it. You're
I
doing
know.
it too.
Yeah, I know,
So
but I can't believe 20 million. So at some point,
there's
it will become-
320 in the U.S. alone, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
And now we got to talk about kids
there's
and
probably
elderly.
385, but
I think it's
we
going
don't-
past our borders, though.
Well, this is worldwide.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this has to be. I mean, even on our channel, we see people watching from Germany and
Bogota.
Yeah. So again, just not to beat a dead horse, I got it up. Okay, dedicated research threads. So you can get into the areas that you're really good at down here. We have the key. So hold on. I mean,
Mike, show the website. The website that they go to. Is there the Q website you're using?
yes, I show. I'll put
Okay.
the link down below in the description box for sure on this.
And once again, you do not want to troll 4chan
Yes,
or 8chan.
I've-
It's not good.
Do not
To
get
do
on
that.
here and just start clicking things and like, I think this. Not in this area anyway. Go elsewhere for that. We have more than we know. This is another anonymous guy that's kind of headhunt. Now Q did pick some very out of all these anonymous, he selected certain fews to kind of be leaders or headhunt the boards because
does his
they
own.
saw that they were smart enough to
Yeah.
keep it going.
Like you just said, they're not just jumping on and saying blah 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 blah. They're
Not on
actually-
this. Yeah. So this is what this guy put out to everybody on Wednesday. Now this is a little older, but he put we have more than we know. We are missing connections. We must build the map. We must leave no stone unturned. We must dig until we exhaust every possibility. We must focus. When light is focused, it can burn through anything. We're here to research, not shitpost. When the Great Awakening happens, we must already have an encyclopedia of all of this knowledge ready to red pill to the masses, the ones that won't believe it unless we have the massive evidence.
Mm-hmm.
That is why Q chose us. So
Light shines brighter in the dark.
yes, we know that.
The dark is afraid of the light.
So even when all this does come out, we're going to be arguing amongst our friends. And, it's not like a biblical verse where it's like, well, I read that to say this, and well, I kind of get this out of it. Some of this stuff is going to show this person did this and killed that person. What do you think about it? Well, I lead that to believe that it's really saying, no. It tells you this
the
person.
the truth is the
did
truth. It's not
this.
what you want it to be or what you can try to
Exactly.
twist to make it fit your.
Truth
Spin it,
is
yes.
truth. Yes,
Q-
that's
that's the
what
whole
they're
point.
saying. That's why Q. Everyone's like, why hasn't Hillary been arrested yet? Q. Or some of these people. It's like, do you not we have to expose these people for their crimes, because she just went through an investigation that looked all perfect. Or you know.
Our show we did with the one Navy guy, Messier, that served a year in prison, for taking some pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that got some attention, and as we see our views and our subscribers, so ring the bell, folks. You're going to help the cause. They're not going to prostitute. Well, she's
They're not
already
going to prostitute you out.
They're not going to prosecute Hillary until there's a great calling, right? When there's all kinds of pressure. None of these politicians do anything if 14 people from Lakeville, Indiana want something done. Your state senator don't care about those 14 people. But when 14 million people start speaking, now you get their attention. So I think Q's probably, like you said, he's giving the information, waking people up, getting this thing steamrolling to where they're not going to be able to deny it then.
Yeah. And even if, this takes all of us, that's the way I understand it, is to understand this information, and then supposedly, it should incite you to be like, this is got to be stopped.
Right.
That's what the storm is. Right. Us all waking up and demanding change.
And understanding. The change.
Now, supposedly, Trump's got...
Because CNN and
13,000 federal signed, sealed indictments ready to be delivered. Sure. They got Marines... And I just found this out myself,
but
folks.
But you got to break that pyramid of shit down before you can get the people to even know the truth. Otherwise, you're just going to leave them in there to spin it.
Yeah. Now, all those connections and all those lines and the outer circle to the inner circle, that's the people we're concerned about. Now, coming outward of that, where it all turned not pink, these are unwittingly participants, right? That's the way I put it. And all you got to do, and that's why I'm reading that there's over 13 signed and sealed federal indictments. These Marines have been detached all over the globe. Right now, these young Marines might not even know why they're there. A group of 10, we're all sitting like, why are we here? There might be one commanding officer there with, in a safe, all these indictments literally in manila envelopes, sealed.
Like a nuclear sub type
and
stuff.
The day when this comes, it's going to hit these Marines as tablets, or however they get updated now. It's going to give them the whole mission. Oh my God.
Go in that building.
And they're going to be going with guns in people's faces, and then putting, you were under the United States, giving them. And we're supposed to arrest these 13,000 people simultaneously, all at once, that will topple this. All right? That's what, and
that takes a lot of...
They said the minute we get the Rothschild and serve that to whoever that is, these people are starting to scramble and put in money into trusts and stuff, and it's like, ooh, Trump is making special laws on these indictments that their trusts are no longer valid. We're going to get all that money back. So even the Rothschilds' amount of money alone would pay off our debt overnight.
You're kidding me.
No, that they own 80% of the money.
He's got the Rothschild organization has trillions.
It's they don't even he doesn't even show up in the Forbes
But
list.
You can't just take it. So you have to prove
They've been
all this
robbing
stuff.
Us. Yes.
We could be debt free tomorrow.
Yes. This is possibly what's the end game is
well, now I'm completely excited. Completely. I'm excited to be doing the show with you anyway, but now my mind is just blown wide open, and I'm starting to understand
the bigger picture, right? That's what it's about.
I feel better now.
These 13,000 people are supposed to go down all at once. There's Marines in place right now.
But disseminating that information, somebody's going to know, hey, you know what? I'm on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to
cut deals. There's been being deals cut. There's been people like
McCabe's just one of them 13,000 people that just roll. If they, I understand, cut them as many deals as you can. I don't necessarily want the body of the snake.
Yeah.
I want its head.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
I got to believe that the Rothschilds and the Table of 10, the Clinton organization, and they get the tops.
You got to get the heads, and then the rest will crumble.
Most of these people were probably sucked in it, like you say, unwillingly. They just kind of went along with things, and then one day they
did something really little bad, and then that was the dirt held over their head.
And they allowed themselves to be blackmailed one time, and then it just
escalates.
They
end up doing way more dirt than they ever did to get brought in. Like, please don't tell my wife I cheated on her.
Yeah, when all they had to do was come clean You know, this is kind of like the light, folks.
What would have happened and led to a divorce and maybe their family kind of hating them, and that sucks. When that's all you have that you're looking at, but now you get way down here, you're like, fuck, I should have just got divorced and let my wife leave me. Now I'm doing treasonous.
You're being asked to kill witnesses, you know, and make it look like a murder. And,
somebody does a bunch of work, gives you paperwork, and you're like, oh yeah, we got it. Thanks, John. Go home.
And if you don't think this is going on, you have got to be a fool.
That's right.
So
got to wake up to. That's what this is all about. A great awakening is everybody waking up to what reality is.
St.
Not
Patrick's
the reality.
Day, my eyes were open.
Yes. We're going to stop it there. We're at 1:15, guys. So an hour 15. Damn, my microphone is crackling.
Crackling a little bit there.
Technical difficulties in the studios.
I'm excited. I'm glad I came this morning. I was going to watch the show even if I wasn't here.
We appreciate everyone being here this morning.
Good being here.
I don't know what we got planned. Maybe me and Jeff will do. I don't know if Scott's got to head out, but maybe we'll do another little 20-minute one or something. I don't know.
The wife's got some St. Patty's Day stuff.
Some festivities. Planned. You guys have, yeah, exactly. Well, we are the Patriot Hour, promoting truth, freedoms, liberties for all.
Dig into these graphs, guys, and protect those rights.
Keep fighting.
Absolutely.
I want to thank all of you for being with us. The Patriots are an incredible organization. Incredible organization.